This College World Series picks and UFL Championship edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for better. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. Claim your shirt at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Happy US Open Thursday, Sean.
Yes, happy US Open. How are your bets looking, Kramer, for the US Open?
Well, I have a big bet on Scotty Scheffler, and he played like a punk ass bitch today.
Yeah,
should have waited to in game. I think he might be as high as like 6-1 now. Maybe.
Well, and it has been a crazy start there. And of course I went big on the Tommy Fleetwood top 20 with the Scotty Scheffler top 5. Not looking in great shape, but Russell Henley is sitting there at even with 14. The leaderboard is like JJ Spawn, Thurston Lawrence, a bunch of like guys I had never heard of. Siwoo Kim is -2, but JJ Spawn, the leader at -4 there. But we are not here to talk golf, Ryan. We're here to talk college baseball, and let's just hop right into it. Joining us on the line, all the way from Omaha, Nebraska. You know him from the College Baseball Experience. Omaha Benik. What's happening in Omaha? It has that nickname taken off, Noah.
Hold on, Noah's not here yet for some reason.
Okay.
Not really sure why. There he is.
All right. Once again, joining us in via Omaha, Nebraska, Omaha Benik. What's happening, Omaha?
Uh-oh.
Well, this is fun.
Well, Colby is here too.
Oh, okay. Colby decided to show up.
Yeah,
all right, let's bring Colby on. What's up, Colby?
What's up, guys? I got a nice college baseball slide. Glad to see you guys answer my text. But how you doing?
Oh,
good,
wow.
good. Thanks for
answered your text. What is your college baseball slide? Put up your slide.
I can't. I don't have control. So
he's upset right now. Here, I'll put it up.
You know, you guys starting without me. I'm throwing high heat.
This looks horrible.
We're supposed to start at 4:00. It's 4:20.
Well, right, the UFL show is going on. You know, we're talking Freedom Cup.
UFL DFS. All right. This is a good slide though. Nice work, Colby. Arkansas is +195 to win it all. LSU +230. The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers at 6-1. Oregon State Beavs at +650. UCLA Bruins 9-1. Arizona Wildcats 14-1. Louisville Cardinals 17-1. And the long shot Murray State Racers, don't let them get hot, 45-1. This is going to be a pretty good tournament here. I know. And Noah has he had a long shot on Arizona Wildcats, right?
He was here too. Again,
okay,
he's coming in and out like a ghost. Yeah, I mean, very well represented in the color palette. I'd say Coastal being there. Gross ass green.
Isn't your?
But
daughter
I think he had a future in Arizona. My daughter made a list. She wants to go to a school on the beach, so she made a list of all the schools on the beach. Unfortunately, Coastal Carolina is one of them, which I had to say no to immediately.
Why? You don't want her to be a Chanticleer?
Do you want my direct quote?
Sure.
You're not going across the country to go to Conway, South Carolina.
Oh my God! He thinks he's better. See, Mister sitting there in fucking Pasadena or Altadena, wherever the hell he's fucking at. He thinks he's better than everybody.
I'm not an Adiner at all. Thank you, sir.
Guys, but look, I think, you know, and I'm sure I'd love to get Noah's 2 cents on this, but the fact that the field starts off with Arkansas against LSU is fascinating, because you're going to be able to then I think it opens up a shot for a dog to go there's value on those dogs like Coastal or I don't know, Oregon State perhaps, because they're on the other side of that bracket. So I don't know. I feel like there he is.
Joining us on the line, Noah Benik. Noah, you got your internet sortie ready to roll?
Hopefully. I asked you guys if I was good prior to us hitting live, and then once we hit live, it like notched it up a couple of levels, and obviously the internet source that I was previously working was not going to work. So I had to
don't make me be the bad guy here, but you are in a flyover state. It could be related to the connectivity there.
No, we were hyping you up while you weren't here, pointing out that you had an Arizona Wildcats future preseason.
Yeah.
What did you get that number at?
So my ticket is 120-1. I even went back and tried to listen to our preseason college baseball episode on SGP. To see if I gave it out, and we just hit on national headlines, unfortunately. So the long shot that I gave out was Stetson to get to the College World Series, which at the time I did like that because all they had to do was just get to Omaha. Arizona still has some games that win here, fellas. So they were a long shot in the preseason for a reason. They were not a host in either the regional or super regional round, and I was very confident in them. Actually, they were my favorite preseason price on a team to win it all. But the final 4 weeks of the season, 3 of those weekends, they were poor, and I hopped off the bandwagon. So I picked against them in the Big 12 tournament. I picked against them in the regional, picked against them in the super regional. So I'm here to tell you guys that Arizona's going to in barbecue this weekend.
So yeah, you have to keep picking against them. No, you don't want to mess up the streak here.
Correct.
We got a bunch of games on Friday, bunch of games Saturday. Why don't we start there? What is some next couple days? What's a good way to hop in? And then we'll talk futures after that. But Friday, Saturday, what's jumping out at you?
Yeah, so Friday, 2 games, Saturday, 2 games. The first bracket portion on the left side, which we'll see the 4 teams on day 1, and then they'll get an off day. So game 1, Arizona, Coastal Carolina. Game 2, Louisville, Oregon State. I've talked to so many people here. Anybody could legitimately come out of this side of the bracket, and I would not be surprised. And only being closer to the situation and being able to talk to coaches and players, I really have a tough time piercing away or like filing some of these teams into which ones I like the most. It really comes down to some situations. The wind is blowing strongly in all day today, and there will be rain later on in the College World Series, so something's blowing in. So that should play a role in, this should be a pitcher's controlled environment in the College World Series this year. So when you're talking about strong pitching staffs, Coastal Carolina has one of the strongest out there. Cameron Flukie, Jacob Morrison, who was the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year, and then they ride it out with a senior in Riley Eichhoff, who's their number 3, is really your best trio of starting pitchers here in Omaha this year, and that's a mid-major team. So it should be really interesting.
No, do you? What did you say? The weather? Do we expect a little rain in the forecast?
Like early next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday-ish.
I'm wet.
All right, just wanted to get that sound drop in. Also,
Kevin Harlan doing the games.
And shout out to Easy from yesterday's show. We have a new sound drop, Kramer on the air horn, which I've been playing on a loop in the office. All right, no, interrupted. So Kevin Harlan, he's wet. We can get that out for the folks. But all right, keep going. What are we doing Friday? Best bet. What do we like?
So, yeah, that Coastal Carolina-Arizona game, both of these teams have strong pitching staffs. Arizona's more pitch to contact, where I really do think that Coastal will be able to get a lot of swing and miss in this matchup. But they're the larger favorite of the day. Honestly, the money lines for both of these games really shouldn't be bet by your everyday better. So you got to attack the totals. And I think these are going to be lower scoring games with the aces on the bump, and in the College World Series, you get the day off. So a lot of times they'll throw their number 3 starting pitcher in this first game because it is so important to stay in the winners bracket. So I do think that we'll be seeing the best arms from a couple of these teams in their first games. Coastal Carolina, Arizona under 9. I like that. Louisville, Oregon State under 10. I like that. Again, I'm picking against Arizona. I think they go 0-2. However, I do think there's quite a bit of value here with Arizona at plus 175. Owen Kramkowski, their starting pitcher, had his worst start of the season just last weekend in Chapel Hill against North Carolina.
Hold on a second, Noah. You said they're going to go 0-2, but you like them on the money line. I mean, are you pre-Benedicting? Colby, what are you teaching this kid?
I don't know what's going on here. I mean, yeah. the Shots did knock off my ECU Pirates though, so they're probably the best team in baseball. We're probably second.
But Noah, are you picking Arizona or are you not picking Arizona?
No, I can't pick Arizona. I'm just providing the people
right.
saying that, hey, there's some value here on the money line.
Just in case.
I like that. Okay.
Because this should be a lower scoring game. And typically in lower scoring college baseball games, it favors the dog. So we'll see what happens.
What was that?
It's kind of like watching your mother-in-law go off a cliff in a Cadillac. You know, you got mixed feelings.
And for what it's worth, I kind of fancy both dogs because these prices on the favorites in this side of the bracket, I could see anybody coming out. Like I originally said, Oregon State's going to start a freshman in Dax Whitney, who's got all the talent in the world. But Louisville's going to start a guy that's going to be drafted on day one, come in mid-July, and Patrick Forbes. And that lineup is very experienced. There's a lot of upperclassmen for Louisville, and it's a prolific offense with guys like Eddie King, Lucas Moore, and going on and on and on in that Cardinals lineup. They're one of the better units here in Omaha. Oregon State with the freshman on the bump in this big of a moment. We'll see how it goes.
So you like the dogs, you like the under. What about Saturday? We got a 2.5 run line for the UCLA Murray State game.
Money line that thing, man. Money line that thing.
Murray State, the team no one believes in. I saw you trying to get some. Noah, have you had any Jello shots over at Rocco's yet?
I have not swung over to Rocco's yet. I have enjoyed a couple of nights out, but I was saving Rocco's for a little bit. I might go meet Derek Stevens over there at Circa.
Nice. Go say what's up.
One, because Murray State's head coach is named Dan Skirka, so it sounds like Circa. So I think I think I'll be able to get Derek Stevens on this Racers train, and also Mr. Skirka, the head coach of the Racers, the darling, the 4-seed, the 4th ever 4-seed to get to Omaha. He's from the great state of Michigan, guys.
Get your hand up and get ready to point out what part of Michigan.
Where on the mitten is he from?
So he's down here. He's from down there, so very south, closer to Indiana, part of Michigan there for Dan Skirka. But the offense is legit, guys. I mean, they ran through the Oxford Regional and through Duke, and I know Colby was there rooting on the Racers. He saw the one game they lost. Sorry, Colby, but this team has put up 110 runs in 11 postseason games. That's the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, the regional, the super regional, and then just the NCAA tournament. They put up 65 runs in 7 games, and they've played a really tough schedule. There's an account called Pair Ratings out there, which it's kind of advanced analytics, and they posted a graphic of the hardest path to Omaha. And it's none other than Murray State. This lineup is inevitable at times. And this park should be able to favor them pretty well because it's a big park. It's hard to hit bombs. A lot of these teams like to rely on the home run ball. That's not necessarily Murray State's offense. It's led by Jonathan Hogart, Dusty Mercer, who had a ton of doubles in that Oxford Regional. I think Murray State's also live at plus 200 on DraftKings.
All over that thing, man. And Sean, you guys know the backstory on this. The coach he was referring to, Skirka, he mows the grass at the stadium, right? No, I thought that was a thing.
No, that thing took off online, and then everybody was talking about it here. And he does not mow the lawn.
Okay.
He does not cut the grass at the field.
That's why we have boots on the ground.
What he does, we have reporters.
What he does do, he said he wanted to give the grounds crew credit because they do a great job during the spring. However, him and the players do have to shovel snow off the field in February.
That's nothing. Come on.
I mean, high school winter track season, we would shovel the track so we could go out there and run. Builds character.
Does sound like a character building experience there. I like the fact that, well, I mean, 2.5 runs in a college baseball game seems crazy if you want to play the run line, but you don't need to talk me into a 2-to-1 dog in the College World Series. What about the late game on Saturday? LSU Arkansas. Noah, what are you doing there? Two of the top 1 and 2, at least by the odds market, squaring off here. What do you like there?
Yeah, it is a very interesting matchup. Should be the most attended game that we possibly see in the entire College World Series with these two rowdy fan bases. Arkansas is going to start Zach Root, who's a left-handed pitcher transfer from East Carolina. So they were able to get a Pirate to Omaha for the first time ever in program history. I don't know if there's a previous transfer.
Congrats, Colby.
He's dead to me.
But Zach Root has been an animal in the postseason so far, and he's going up against an LSU lineup that has slightly weaker numbers against left-handed pitching. The big thing about LSU is their coach, Jay Johnson, doesn't really reveal his pitching plans prior to the tournament, prior to games. They've got a 1A and 1B of starting pitchers that are probably first rounders at the end of the day come July, and Cade Anderson, who's the southpaw, and Anthony Ianson, who's the right-hander. Arkansas is the best offense against left-handed pitching. All year long, they've started Cade Anderson in game ones for the most part in their weekend series. Anthony Ianson, in my opinion, is the better matchup for this game. If he's on the bump at -110, that's my favorite bet of the weekend. But we won't know that he's starting this game until probably 1 o'clock on Saturday. So that's the toughest part about this. And that's why, like, Jay Johnson, an outstanding coach. Personally, you got to know the pitchers when you're trying to handicap and pick these games. So
fair.
Arkansas's offense, just top to bottom, has been better than LSU's the entire season. But when you're looking at the numbers strictly against the left-handers or the right-handers, the starting pitchers that are probably going to go 6 or 7 innings in this game, it's very important. So not necessarily comfortable on the money line yet. I would love LSU if they go with the right-hander here. But again, I'm going to point to the under here. Arkansas's got a very talented pitching staff. LSU's got the best duo of starting pitchers here. Cade Anderson, who's the left-hander, is coming off his worst start of the season against West Virginia. I'd like to think that he has a bounce-back outing in him anyways. Under 9.5 with possibly some wind blowing in the entire weekend. It seems like a good play to me as well here. But yeah, I'll take LSU to win the game. And what should be, if anybody's interested in watching any of the College World Series, this is the game you should watch.
Make sure you subscribe to the College Baseball Experience. We're going to get Noah's future bets before we do. Of course, shout out to Edge Boost. It is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cash back rewards, and it's free. That's right, 100% approval for all betting deposits as well. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. And last week, to sign up and get a free Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs to claim your free shirt. And we need to add a Umps Are Terrorists as well. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/refs. And also shout out to Circa. Love the Circa. Love staying there. Awesome place, bachelor party, fantasy football draft. They're giving away a free draft party. You and 11 people in your league, 12-team league. They don't believe in the 10-team league, only the 12-team league over here at Circuit. You get a 5,000 bar tab, limbo to and from the airport. It is a hell of a package. I'm sure Derek Stevens will hang out, have a couple cocktails with you. Great time, great place, great venue for watching games, draft, whatever it is. You can always get 15% off at all the Circa properties, promo code SGP15, but enter for free for your chance to win the ultimate fantasy football draft experience. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. Noah, futures. What do we like? And by that, I mean, what do you like that we're going to tail? Noah, what do we do? I mean, Murray races 45-1. What does their path look like to win this all?
Teams.
Yeah, come on. It feels like there's value.
Yeah, I think that Murray State definitely has a shot. Their pitching's not very deep, but that hasn't mattered so far in the first 2 weekends of the NCAA tournament. They went up against a very pitching-oriented team in Duke who had a ton of lefties, which has kind of been, the slightly better matchup for the defense against Murray State's lineup, who, quite honestly hasn't been on the national scene as long as some of these other teams. So that's one advantage that's going in the favor of Murray State. And it's a very experienced lineup as well. Murray State is on the tougher side of the bracket. I want to take you to the left side of the bracket because I do think that this thing is wide open and you can find some favorable prices on teams that have legitimate shots to win it all because of the favorable draw. I'll take you to Coastal Carolina and Oregon State. Oregon State, I predicted them to possibly lose that first matchup. Same with Coastal Carolina for what it's worth. Both of these teams have enough pitching to come through the losers bracket if they were to lose a game. Not quite sure if Arizona or Louisville would be able to do that. So that's why those two, I favor them a little bit more. Oregon State is an outstanding story, mainly because they were independent. They were basically your Notre Dame of college baseball this year, where they had to create a schedule that was good enough for them to, one, make the postseason in general because they didn't have a chance to earn an automatic bid into the NCAA tournament, but two, they created a good enough one where they could host college baseball games throughout the postseason at their home atmosphere. So what they did was they played 35 games away from home this season.
It's like Lincoln, California, the Oaklanders in college football that we covered. More so than Notre Dame, because Notre Dame gets all that preferable treatment. The Oaklanders, Lincoln, CA. Let's go.
Yeah. So Oregon State, they played the maximum amount of postseason games you could, which is not a good thing. That means they lost the first game in the regional to a 4 seed, and then ran the table in the losers bracket. And then they lost a game in that super regional matchup, the best of 3 series against Florida State, but still got here. So they've battled adversity literally from the fall up until right now with the whole conference realignment debacle that completely split up the Pac-12, yet we have 3 West Coast Pac-12 teams here in Omaha this year. That was also predicted by me to at least, I said there would be 2 here. Yes, but not to pat myself on the back, but I think the Beavers have a quality enough squad to be able to pull this off. And I talked about Coastal Carolina earlier. Their lineup is just Oregon State's lineup has a lot more talent than Coastal Carolina's. So I like the Beavers 1, Coastal 2. That's my semifinal on the left side, but bet both of them because I think that Arkansas LSU, albeit they're the betting favorites here, one of them has to lose that first game. And I talked about it in these types of scenarios in the College World Series in a big first round, like first matchup. You have to win that game because you don't want to battle through the losers bracket. They're going to throw. It's going to be all hands on deck besides their number 2 starting pitcher. So when you expend all of those resources and effort into winning a game, sometimes there's a little bit of a letdown. And both of these teams are going to have a lot of pressure in that losers bracket game because, let's face it, they've been built up as the 2 favorites in the College World Series this year. And they may just as well play Murray State, the 4 seed, who has nothing to lose, yet has been one of the best offensive teams in the NCAA tournament this season.
So Coastal Carolina, Oregon State, and then we have to play a sprinkle on the Murray State there. 45-1. Racers sound fun. Kramer, Colby sent over. Before we go, we got to get your take on what everyone wants to know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm loaded up with some information here.
Okay, the Jello shot odds breakdown. We've gotten a number of different outlets posting, but this one we got LSU is the odds-on favorite -275, Arkansas 9-1, Louisville 20-1, Arizona 25-1, UCLA 40-1, Coastal 40-1, Oregon State 60-1, Murray State 75-1. All it takes is one big pocketed backer to buy a bunch of shots. I mean, isn't that how the record got hit last time? Some rich alumni came in and just bought out the whole bar.
Raising Cane's, right? It
was Todd Graves of Raising Cane's, the CEO there. He's a huge LSU fan, and LSU is like one of the biggest turnout fan bases in general, just out of anybody that comes to the College World Series in Omaha. LSU always puts up the best showings. Like businesses locally here celebrate LSU attending the College World Series. LSU is going to win this thing. However, right now, I do have to inform you that Murray State's currently leading, and that's because of my boys at 11.7. We've been taking fan donations. We cater a lot to the mid-major when we cover the national scene in college baseball, and we've been taking a lot of tips and donations to specifically buy Murray State Jello shots. So we have the Racers currently in first place, and when LSU fan base turns out probably Saturday morning for their Saturday night game, it'll quickly wipe away.
So I have an updated standings, first of all, of about 55 minutes ago. Murray State still is in the lead. LSU not far behind in third place. Louisville in second place. Now, I have both corroborated with boots on the ground reporting, but also via social media, that Derek has chosen to back, and sorry, Noah, it might not just be you. Derek has chosen to back Louisville and Murray State so far with his large purchases.
As he should.
That's why they're in first and second on behalf of I believe Circa Kentucky. So if he's going, if I don't know how long the big man's going to be there, but the Circa crew goes pretty hard.
Yeah.
And like,
all the decent people.
This is me being completely objective. Like if you took all the casino like head guys crews in terms of drinking,
Circa, the power rating, they'd be off the board. They'd be a minus 1,000 favorite. If we took the Circa ownership,
versus Steve Wynn.
Yeah. Steve Wynn probably has like a shot of white wine. He has to call it a night.
Oh shit!
Wait, Kramer. When did you get the most recent? Because I'm looking at one from an hour ago.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, that one has Coastal #1, and that's
Oh, I don't have that one.
Coastal Carolina, Myrtle Beach is right outside of Conway. They are the #1 drunken beach in America, according to this article I'm reading right now.
Well, regardless,
plus 4,000.
Yeah, my intel was purely just to say that a casino owner and man with a lot of disposable income. I mean, Sean and I have been on field trips with him late at night when he's drunk. He's willing to spend money.
He's not a cheap guy.
If he's backing those guys, then I'm gonna say Louisville and Murray State got a shot
at 20-1 and Murray State 75-1. Those are my long shot plays. I'll ride with Derek all day and maybe.
But
no, if you get some TCE listeners over at Rocco's, let us know.
Oh yeah,
we'll send in some Venmo for Murray State. Oh, yeah, okay.
Let's get Weehawk some Jello shots.
When are you seeing this screenshot posted at Colby?
1 hour ago.
Well, one hour ago, the official account put out that Murray State was leading, so that's why I'm saying they don't update it for a while, so I don't know who would have wrote the number.
Last thing I'll say, not to go against Derek, but I know LSU is going to be well represented, but people from Arkansas are complete savages.
They can put it down for sure. It depends on how much early damage LSU does, because whoever stays longer of that biggest fan base has, the let's say if there's a number to beat, they will put the effort towards beating it. But also that just means longer time, more opportunity to.
I mean, really, shout out to Rocco's coming up with like the greatest marketing tool / money making. I'm sure he's very generous in the community. I think he does a bunch of charity stuff, but still, you're selling like 100,000 Jello shots at $5 a pop. I mean the ROI on those, the net profit on those Jello shots. That guy is a real man of genius if I've ever seen one. And it's a fun game.
Sean.
Yes.
Sorry, Colby, real quick. Are you aware of what the business school at Arkansas is called?
The School of Hog?
The Sam M. Walton School of Business. You don't think the Walmart can back up a couple million?
Well.
Tyson.
What about?
There you go.
Coastal Carolina, you guys are sleeping on. Remember, the creator of Hooters is a Coastal Carolina grad.
Hooters done.
Hooters
Yes.
is out of business.
Well, he's old, but his mind's always correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the guy who invented Hooters, he's probably working at Rocco's behind the bar. Like Hooters is falling on tough times, Colby.
He's sold.
He's probably a line cook back there, trying to make a couple bucks.
Well, they've been drinking on the job then, man. Because give me Coastal plus 4,000. You guys are hating. You don't know about Myrtle Beach. All right? There's a reason why Kramer's not sending his daughter there, and it ain't because it's called Conway.
It's true. Myrtle Beach is the flyover beach. You don't need to go.
All right.
There's better party beaches.
Good times. As always, make sure you follow Noah Benik at X at Noah B77. Look at that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Look at that beautiful stadium. And obviously subscribe to the College Experience, the college baseball experience, wherever you get your podcast. Noah's going to get you ready to go for the College World Series. And if you're out in Omaha, say what's up to Noah. Noah, put some drinks on the old expense account. We'll take care of that.
Left before you could say that.
Oh,
you see that? That was intentional.
Hey, we're going to talk United football. Before we do, a shout out to Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN, hooking you up with the extender, the profit boost. Been loving the extender for my TJ McConnell fantasy projections, all NBA playoffs. Game 5, what is it? Game 4 now? We're already up to a 6. What is this? This can't be right. 80% boost for the extender right now. Let's go.
Strapping.
Pacers. Obviously, I'm going to be on TJ McConnell higher rebounds and assists. They moved it to 6.5. I don't care. Give it to me. And also, I would say Alex Caruso lower 9.5 points. I like that lower all day. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Get your deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Head over to Rhythm. Start using their power trends. They're like regular trends, but more powerful because they're backed by AI. Rhythm crushes it with their AI backed picks and props, doing a great job for the NBA playoffs. Here's let's see. What is a fun... Okay, here you go. In the next NBA Finals game, Nembhard under 15.5 points and assists, and they love that. They think that's a 63.3% win probability. But you can go in and start building your own models, free picks, free props, and a free 7-day trial. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. Get started today. Really, it's great to have the gut, the handicap, and the eye test, but backing it up with the data is really a great formula. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And last but not least, our good buddies over at mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, keeping the money bags flowing. 100% match up to $1,000 when you use the promo code SGPN. Terms and conditions apply on that deposit match. I'm going to be running it back with the Pacers catching 6 points. I've been living off this Pacers team. Oklahoma City Thunder have not covered on the road yet. All playoffs 0-8 ATS. I'm heading over to mybookie.ag, taking Indiana as the home dog, catching 6 points. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN.
All right, real quick before we get to our favorite league, we have to talk about our buddy Coach O.
Oh, Coach O. Colby, did you see this Coach O clip?
I don't think I did.
Really? All right.
So this is a guy. I needs a little setup, especially if you're listening to audio. A guy is at some resort area or whatever where he knows Coach O is walking behind him, and he's shooting like a selfie video, and he wants to troll Coach O.
You think it's a resort, or you think it's just life?
It could be. I mean, I'd see the palm trees. I don't know. It feels like anywhere Coach O goes feels like a vacation.
Have we not seen Coach O jogging near palm trees before, shirtless?
Yes, shirtless,
and
that's
not
kind
on
of
vacation.
That's kind of his go-to.
Okay, well we'll play it. No sound. Why no sound? Oh, that's why. Look at him. He's shirtless. Hold on. Let me turn the sound on.
He only knows.
Coach, sorry to bother you. Right, here we go, baby. Roll Tide.
All right, here we go. Not really.
I know. I mean,
what was that about?
What was
I
that
respect
about?
you as a person. I was a big fan.
What was that about?
I respect you as a fan.
I wouldn't take those Tigers to you after taking a picture with you.
Understand.
Have a good day, man.
Hi.
Where you from?
I'm from Alabama.
What part?
Tuscaloosa, actually.
You
So you gotta understand that ain't nothing towards you.
No, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But look, here, just show respect.
Yes, sir.
What the fuck, man? Hey, if you're from LSU, you wouldn't go to Nick Saban and say go Tigers, would you?
I think some people would, but
You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
I want it.
If you were from
Because sorry to
LSU,
bother you.
you wouldn't be going up to Nick Saban and say, "Go Tigers," would you? Would you? I mean, that guy was like stammering. You could tell he was a little nervous.
Why is it such? I mean, Ed Orgeron would have probably whooped his ass, but I'm saying, why is that such a big deal? I don't understand it. Like Roll Tide. I mean, okay.
Oh no, it's I don't know. I think he's just having fun with them.
Well, I think what he's saying is, oh, I was cool with you, and then you snuck in a Roll Tide after. That's disrespectful. You got your camera going, and it's funny that Coach O is still
fucking retired, man. Who cares? If he was
well, Coach O does. I like Coach O. Chirping back.
You don't like passion, Colby?
No, I thought you'd appreciate Coach O.
Look, I like him. I just don't understand. I mean, didn't you get $20 million to not coach at LSU? You should just be like, well, who gives a shit about these Tigers? Roll Tide, right?
He probably still feels like he's on the clock then. Yeah, he's getting paid. He may as well defend LSU's name. LSU's been really good to him, Colby, so I would understand why he wants to still defend LSU.
Also, great how he just immediately made that man terrified.
He did scare the shit out of that guy. you wouldn't do that if you were LSU and say go Tigers, go Joe to Nick Saban now, would you?
Colby, for him to say I mean no disrespect and then say Roll Tide in Coach's face like that.
Sure, but what's great is you think Ed Orgeron's like 20 margaritas deep, but that's actually just how he talks.
Yeah. No, he was the perfect match for that school. Like you can put, I mean, Brian Kelly, it doesn't fit. It's whatever. It doesn't matter if they win a national title. That's why he should have been coach for life at LSU.
He
got
a national title, but then, he
went to a gas station. He saw a lady, saw a really attractive pregnant woman.
Yeah, there was a lot of.
Don't you remember how ridiculous it was? He hit on the like
the guy. It was
the
like
chancellor's or like a senator's wife at a gas station while she was pregnant.
You know the ultimate
shoot or shoot.
You know where he really needs to coach, and I think it's possible. And I actually think there's a chance that Michael Desamoreaux gets fired, and that is the Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
Oh yeah,
I mean he would fit perfectly.
Great
Raging Cajuns. Come on, let's go.
Oh, he literally could be the mascot. He is a Raging Cajun. Look at him, and he's just got like that leathery. I've never seen him without like tan, just like glossy skin. He's a character, man. He is a classic. And Kramer, also we have another video. Colby alerted us to the Runaway zebra. Owned by a random it was just a guy in Tennessee, right, Colby? It was this the zebra did not break out of a zoo.
No, this is like showing the guys that run on the field.
Yeah,
we're just encouraging the behavior. This person should not have had a zebra. He clearly got his hands on a zebra.
No.
In a
I mean it must have been some like he knew a carny or he was a carny and swapped out a zebra, paid a guy, traded some moonshine with the guy who worked at the zoo. Like how this guy got the zebra in the first place, that could be a movie. And then I don't know, I didn't actually look into it, but they found the zebra, they rescued the zebra, but they rescued the zebra via helicopter. Yeah. This video, Kramer, play the video, because them rescuing the zebra, and you could just I don't know how to read a zebra's facial expression, but it's just got to be thinking, how the hell did I get up here? What the hell is going on? He's got to be one of the few zebras that have been mid-flight, I would imagine.
No, well, I wouldn't say the only one, because I do think that I would imagine you'd have some level of, maybe you got to airlift an animal from time to time. Maybe
it seems pretty rare having to airlift.
They did a movie called Operation Dumbo Drive, right? Yeah. Well, I mean,
so you don't think they're airlifting animals too often?
I don't think, and well, not like this. We'll pull the video up here. But yeah, they put him in some harness, and then he's had the helicopter move him. I don't know where. I mean, look at this, and it's like spinning around, and the zebra is just. What the zebra's name is Ed. Ed the zebra, just floating in the air, rotating 360.
I mean, it's honestly one of those.
God bless the zebra.
Not. Did you happen to read the articles about this?
No,
or at least like. Colby, did you see the part where Did you see the part where it talked about when he got the zebra?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, right?
It was like the day before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He just got the zebra.
Yeah.
So he just didn't have a place to put the zebra.
Yeah, this guy is not a good zebra owner.
No.
Okay.
Probably not a good animal owner.
He probably doesn't have experience with the zebras. So I'm going to give him a mulligan.
What state was this?
Tennessee.
Is that the same place that the Tiger King was at?
No, that was Oklahoma.
Close by. Close by. Could be a pipeline.
I have no idea how you get yourself a hold of a zebra. All right, let's talk UFL. Kramer, we got the championship game.
Yep.
I went 0-2 on the conference championship games. I was completely wrong. I didn't think Bryce Perkins, if he played, he'd be 100%. He did play. He was good. I thought the Battlehawks, one of my most successful plays was the Battlehawks at home. That didn't work. So now there is a championship game in St. Louis. Battlehawks aren't in it. Could be a decent game though.
That's the best part. That's the best part.
Yeah, that is the funniest part. Kramer, what do we got? What's the spread? What are we doing?
I have a slide. I have a slide. Throw it up.
Oh, pull it up.
Christ.
We got the DC Defenders versus the Michigan Panthers in the neutral site
in St. Louis, right?
In the Battle Dome.
Well, let's learn a little bit more about that Battle Dome, as you call it, the Dome at America's Center. That's the actual name of it. In beautiful St. Louis. I was like, this is interesting. Let me learn a little bit more about the Dome here.
It sucks.
Five events on the schedule. Five events at the Dome in the schedule. The UFL Championship is one of them. Take a while. I'll give you. Sorry, there's three others, Sean. You get one guess at the three other events that are currently on the schedule.
Has to be Monster Truck.
Monster Jam.
That was my first guess. That was
September 20th.
I mean, come on. This is a city that loves trucks.
All right, so Monster Jam. There's also the week before, September 13th, Super Motocross, a playoff. Apparently, they have playoffs in motocross.
and shout out. I know a guy who hits me up in the Instagram DMs, loves playing the motocross underdog. They have a bunch of options for motocross.
Oh, all right.
And I know there's not a lot of places you can get action on motocross.
That's pretty sick.
Underdog, check them out.
Well, and there's one more event on September 5th.
Okay.
Not in the same category. Chris Brown coming to town.
Oh, I was going Nelly. That was my
the Breezy Bowl tour.
Oh, well, Chris Brown, he's been canceled in all the states except St. Louis and not Missouri. He's not canceled.
I would have gotten with a St. Lunatics concert. I'm with Colby.
Well, remember Nelly got arrested at a casino.
Oh yeah, they didn't want to pay him his money.
Yeah, he hit a huge jackpot. And then while they were, it sounded pretty much
we stand
bullshit.
with Nelly.
Yeah, they were running his, they ran a background check before they gave him his money, which you don't have to do at a casino. And then they detained him, and then they found ecstasy. It sounded like he was going to get it thrown out, but shout out to the St. Lunatics and Nelly. Nelly sounds like a,
I'm a
all right. So it looks like Nelly won a $50,000 jackpot at the Hollywood Casino in St. Charles, Missouri.
That's a red flag. Any place that's not in Hollywood that calls itself Hollywood is going to suck. It's going to be really bad.
There's a Hollywood, Florida, though. There is a Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, sure. But if it's not in Hollywood, California, well, Hollywood, California also sucks.
They all suck?
Yes. Maybe that's an easier way. Anything called Hollywood is going to be shitty. The Hollywood Walk of Fame. I mean, if you like, tetanus and random needles, human feces, we got a 3-block walking tour for you.
Do you know what the police claimed the arrest warrant was based off of a traffic violation from 2018 where he didn't have proof of insurance.
Come on.
Wow. In Missouri? What?
That's
come on. They leave the country in murder rate.
This led to an arrest and a search of his belongings where the officers allegedly found ecstasy pills.
Those were probably planted too. It screams racist shit.
Do black guys take ecstasy?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's medicinal. That struck me as like, wait a second, they're setting them up.
Maybe I haven't seen that many black. I've been to a few parties where everyone was on ecstasy, and I feel like there was just maybe you're token black guy. I don't think there was a lot.
It's a raver techno thing, I think primarily, but black dudes will roll.
So they chose to arrest him as he was trying to collect his $50,000 jackpot. That is the most crooked shit
bullshit
I've ever heard. He did get his money. So.
Yeah.
And they dropped the charges.
Yeah, come on. All right, for me, the handicap is very simple.
Oh, spread's 3, totals 50.5.
Michigan Panthers. Bryce Perkins is the real deal in this dome. He is going to light them up. The dude has a will to win, and I think he could be the next PJ Walker, which I know doesn't sound super exciting because PJ
Stamps
Walker
are 1-0. Stamps are 1-0 in the CFL.
Yeah, as a guy who could just get it done. He's a game changer, and he really jumps out eye test. DC, I get it. They're going to be interesting, but you cannot fade this Michigan Panthers team. I made the mistake of doing it last week. I didn't think Perkins would be 100% if he played, and he showed me wrong. And he's one of those guys in these spring leagues. There's a couple guys, and it was with PJ Walker. You immediately realize you're dumb for fading them. You feel like an idiot, and you can't. Colby, you can't take the defenders, can you?
I'm taking the defenders, buddy.
Oh my God! Really?
Look, the coach has been called a bellboy. I've been fading.
Wow.
I've been fading Mike Nolan since the '90s, and it's worked out pretty well since for
not
me.
Last week.
Yeah,
I took
they did, but I still think there's a chance Danny Etling plays because Nolan probably tried to get him in the game last week. The Rock probably made a phone call saying no. But look,
that is what's scary is that how much the coach loves Danny Etling, even though Bryce Perkins is way better.
I honestly think DC is the team that has the bigger chip on the shoulder. Another thing is Michigan beat them in the regular season, kind of put it on them late in that game too. So I think it's personal. The coach has been called the bellboy. They've battled a ton of adversity because the whole staff went down to Tennessee State, including Greg Williams.
But Colby, come on, you can't use battled adversity for guys in the fucking UFL. Their whole life has been adversity.
Well,
That's
Bryce Perkins signed a $1 million contract.
No one's there's not a lot of silver spoon guys in the UFL. There isn't an Arch Manning who's been babied his whole life, raised with millions of dollars that's played in this league.
Bryce Perkins made $1.6 million with the LA Rams. That means he might not be as laser focused.
And laser focused.
Jordan Thoma's been in these spring leagues for a long time. You know damn well he's in credit debt. All right, so
that might be true.
I'm all over these defenders. Let's go. And by the way, I'll throw out a first touchdown because I think that DC will be down early. Cole Hikatini gets a touchdown plus 1,600. Let's go.
I will say,
is that the first touchdown?
First touchdown. Cole Hikatini, the tight end for the Michigan Panthers shot. So your boys are going to go up early. DC's going to battle back because that's what this team has been doing. You know I'm from DC. I can't fade DC in the championship game. This is like the 91 Super Bowl. Right? Everyone thought the Bills were going to get it done after your Scott Norwood tragedy bullshit, right? Mark Rippon just put it on him. All right, let the Ripper rip. All right, this is what's going to happen with Jordan Ta'amu.
So there is an element of I do think that Ta'amu is more likely to be to the next spring king. He seems more fitting for the throne. He's not going anywhere. Bryce Perkins has aspirations to go back to the NFL. So the league might choose to give the crown. I assume this is all still scripted.
Clearly the league can't fix stuff if the Battlehawks aren't in the home stadium for their championship.
Serious question, Colby. Are we having a season next year?
Well, since one of their guys, yeah, I mean, it seems like there is, but No. I did see The Rock promote a UFL documentary coming out. You see that?
That's crazy. What they're gonna tell everyone how they committed the crime? They're gonna share the dirty secrets of how they've grifted America with this league. I told you that Michigan had the best roster the first week of the season when we broke this league down. I told you that Michigan plus 650 was a great price in the futures market. And there's no reason to change now. I just worry that Tamu could be the one who gets the rose because he's so committed to spring football.
On them too, buddy. Right?
You
so
did.
I mean, we're good.
You did.
Sean did not. That future.
No,
because the bellboy angle.
Colby has a Michigan plus 650 future, as does Kramer, and they're both fading.
What?
You were supposedly on Michigan plus 650 in the beginning of the season.
When did I say I'm taking DC? You're not listening to me.
I
was just pronouncing why I'm taking Michigan -3. I was explaining how I started the season telling you Michigan was the best team in the league, and I'm going to finish the season since they got over the hump. They beat Birmingham finally. That's the scariest part, the letdown. They finally beat Birmingham.
That is true. They Birmingham had owned them.
They got that done,
it's
so they're going to win.
DC, no one's going to be at this fucking game. It's just perfect.
Well, what does that change? Michigan, if anyone is equipped to play in a fanless dome stadium, it's the Michigan Panthers.
It's not Jake Bates bobblehead night, and DC played in this stadium last week. I think it's an advantage.
Which, by the way, do you see those bobbleheads? People were trying to sell those things for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, let's check in on the Jake Bates bobblehead.
Come on, you can't.
I'm still waiting for mine. I thought we had some loyal listeners that were going to.
Oh my god, they're still listed
some prices,
for $100.
Some prices are listed to $40. There is a $500 or best offer.
No.
Yeah. No, I don't think anyone's taking.
I'd rather get this $15 Brad Holmes GM of the Lions bobblehead.
Jared Goff is going for $60. Now, I mean, I'm not the biggest Jared Goff fan, but he's better than the kickers UFL one.
You got to see this. They call it a Jake Bates rare. They call it a rare.
Well, I'm actually going to push back and say, we don't know the stability of this league. The Detroit Lions have been around for a while, so I actually think the Jake Bates bobblehead might have more long-term value because the Michigan Panthers, this will be like a rare thing. Like there was this team back 50 years ago called the Panthers. This is their kicker, their best player on their team. I think that's the angle shot.
I'm seeing one for $40.
You're just trying to get Kramer's Seattle Sea Dragons t-shirt to rise in value. I see what you're doing. You're trying to manipulate the market. Unleash a feeding frenzy for that Seattle Sea Dragons merch.
I don't have an eBay account, but there is a $40 one on eBay. We're getting down to more reasonable prices.
All right. Any thoughts on the total, Colby? 50.5.
Highest total of the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The league wants a lot of points, but the league always fucks things up, kind of like trying to get St. Louis, cooking the books to get St. Louis to the playoffs. So I will take the under. I will take the under. The league can't get this right. I don't care how many Blandinos they got.
This is
an army of Blandinos.
This is the whale play.
Yeah, this is the lock.
50.5 in the UFL.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
All right, let's close it out with a lock. Kramer, what is your lock? Are you going to lock up the under?
Just one.
Okay. How many?
Just do 2 locks.
Sure, 2 locks.
Under would be lock number 1, and Michigan money line.
So not laying the 3.
Parlayed with the under.
Okay. For me, lock number 1 is Michigan Panthers laying the 3. Lock number 2, under 50.5. Colby, 2 locks.
Parlays in your locks.
We are locking up DC money line. I don't need your stinking 3 points. And also Jordan Ta'amu is going to be the first quarterback in DC to win MVP since Mark Rippon. How about this?
Oh my God.
Over on DK, Ta'amu to throw for 300 plus passing yards and 3 touchdowns at plus 1,600. No. Get in on the action, folks.
Wait, say that again.
No,
300 yards, 3 touchdowns plus 1,600. And I'm on the under.
Has he done that yet?
He's on the under.
Has that happened yet?
It's a winning formula. No, it hasn't happened.
He's thrown for over 300 a couple times. The 3 touchdowns is the big end. He's thrown for over 300 a lot, actually.
Not against my Panthers.
No, let's go. All right, great times as always. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Toss us 5 stars. Always appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the College Football Experience team previews are underway every FBS football team and a couple FCS. Get a complete episode dedicated to them as a team preview. We got the VSiN show tomorrow night, 11 o'clock East. Tune in for that. And of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Sean, we forgot to wish Colby a happy U.S. Open.
Kramer, let it ride.